Good morning, everybody. This is Russ from Russ Quiz Coaching, and today is day one of the interview with Infinite Intelligence. Hello, and how are you today? Well, do you see those lights going in the distance? Yes, I do. It is the sign that I'm here. Yes, I know, because the minute I asked that question, I saw those lights go on. Yes, it is. I turned them on just to give you a sign. You humans always need a sign. Yeah, it would be amazing if you just follow your gut. That's why I gave it to you. The gut, you're talking about the gut feeling, right? Yes, the gut feeling. But you, sitting here right now, is developing that gut feeling. And that's why I'm here talking to you. Well, a lot of people would probably ask, what makes me think I can talk to you directly? It just, the institution and the way we're taught that, um, you know, talking to you directly is not very common, I would say. Very few talk to, and people who are talking to you, a lot of people think uh, that I'm crazy, probably. What do you care about what other people think? It's not your business to care for that. It's my business. They're the 98 percenters. 98 percenters explain that. Well, 98 percenters are the ones which simply don't think. So whatever they think is actually implanted in our brains by my opposition. Your opposition. What does that mean? What do you mean by your opposition? Can you be a little bit more specific? By opposition, I simply mean the devil. So those people who just simply don't think, they're possessed by the devil. Well, and the 2% think. Oh, they think. They are the ones who can speak to me if they choose. They don't need to speak to me if they choose not. But they get the messages and direction from me. And I'm here for them. Well, thank you for clarifying that. That's very insightful. You're very welcome. So, the ones who think are the ones who belong sort of in that group that can directly speak for you, get directions from you. And what are the benefits of being in that group, the 2%ers? Well, the benefits are vast. It is ability for you, the human, to get whatever it is that you want to get. Anything, anything. Like magic, just like that. And explain yourself. How is that possible? Well, when I created you, the human, I gave you the mind. The mind that you sometimes call the brain. It is a machine that can create things. The machine that has an ability to store information, generate energy, a machine that sends out the wavelengths into the universe and attracts in the same time the things, whether material or immaterial. Your thoughts create things. My thoughts create things. Well, let me just backtrack just a little bit, because I think we kind of sidetracked ourselves. You know, a lot of people will think that, who am I to talk to you, and why am I thinking that I could talk to you? That's exactly why you're talking to me, because you think you can. You see, today, for the first time in a very long time, you start thinking, and hence we're having this conversation. Well, thank you. That is very insightful. So if anyone comes around and asks me what gives me the right to talk to you, and why do I think that I talk to you, is just because I think. Just because I think. Yes, that's because you think. So how does one think? Wow, that is an interesting question. Can you teach people to think? Oh yes, I can. But a lot of them just simply don't want to do so. Well, for those who do, and for instance, for those who need some guidance, that is the most important question. How do one think? Well, if you would create a system, a framework of thinking, what would that framework look like? Well, that framework will have 4 dimensions. 4 dimensions. Explain yourself. Yes, please. Well, here is the framework of thinking. A human mind is designed by me to think in 4 dimensions. The first dimension is your product or service. Whatever it is that you want to create, or whatever it is that you want to get, whatever it is what you want to serve, or whatever it is that you want to acquire. It is the product or service. It is the physical, material, or immaterial thing that comes into your mind. You need to conceptualize it. You need to envision it. You need to see it. You need to want it. You need to be it. You need to feel it. You need to hear it. You need to taste it. You need to smell it. It is the product or service. Okay. What's the second dimension? The second dimension is resources. Resources. Yes, resources. Just by envisioning things, feeling it, hearing it, smelling it, and tasting it. Yes, you send the information to the universe, and now the universe will give it to you, whether you want it or not. And we'll touch on that a little bit later, but for now, the resources is the things that you need to go after. The resources, the knowledge, the people, the skills, the ability, the finances, the foundations, whatever it is that you need to acquire, whatever it is that you want to acquire. Whatever it is that you want to be a part of your life, that thing that needs resources, the resource of thought, the resource of mind, the resource of your economics, as you humans live on this earth. The resources, yes, the resources. Well, what is the third dimension? The third dimension is execution. You need to execute. Once you have a definitive goal in mind, whatever it is that you want, and you're acquiring resources, and you're putting the resources together, you need to start executing. You need to execute whatever it is, that plan that you have. The resources, you got to put them in motion. You can't just have them sit stagnant. You got to execute. Well, what's the fourth dimension? The fourth dimension is time. The fourth dimension is time, and the time is always now. It's not in the past. It's not in the future. It is in now. So the four-dimensional thinking, the true thinking, is that is of product and service, the resource, the execution, and time, all combined into one. The ones who mastered the art of thinking are the ones who are actually thinking. So what you're saying is that there is a way to think about in four dimensions, all at once, in one moment. Yes, it is. But you need to train your mind to do so. For that, you need to think in four dimensions. And everything that you want, you need to write down all four dimensions separately. And as you continue this practice, the ability to do it all at once becomes eminent. So you will become a master of thought, a master human, a master of life. That's the ability that you have. Now, anything different than that would be considered to be not thinking, and would be considered to be a drifter. A drifter, what does that mean? Well, that is the one who just simply follows along. That is like a brick of wood just drifting down the stream or up the stream or whatever it is that it's going. The life is taking you there rather than you taking life. Whatever it is that you want to go. You are I created you as a master of life. Not life as a master of you. You would not want to put that to exist. You will put that to thrive. You will put that to create. You will put there as my helper, as my soldier, as my hands, my eyes, my ears. And when you don't think, you simply drift. You don't do the work. Wow, that's very interesting. So to think is to use your brain and follow it in four dimensions. That is the ability to, to want something really bad, like a product or service. That is to think about resources immediately to get this product. It's about the execution, about doing it now. And if everything that we want in life, we would just do everything in life, like everything about us, we would do in four-dimensional thinking. Can you imagine what could we create? Without fear, without procrastination, that point of time. I'm getting chills and goosebumps just by thinking about it right now. So much thank you for clarifying that. You're welcome. Well, there's a lot to ponder upon. I really thank you, Infinite Intelligence, for having this interview with me today. Let's just take a pause and come back to it, in a later time. While I'll work on my four-dimensional thinking, and so is other people who will hear this message, will work on their four-dimensional thinking. Would that be okay with you? Yes, of course. Everything is okay with me. Well, be well then. You be well. Thank you.